Did you know that your morning bowl of oatmeal, yes, the one you've been relying on for heart health and steady energy, might actually be working against you, depending on what you mix into it? It's not an easy thing to hear, especially when you've spent years trying to eat right and make healthier choices as you age. Oatmeal on its own is a wonderful food. It's warm, comforting, and packed with soluble fiber that supports cholesterol balance, smooth digestion, and stable blood sugar. It's become a go-to breakfast for millions of older adults, and for good reason. But what most people don't realize is that it's often the things we add to oatmeal, not the oats themselves, that can quietly turn a healthy habit into a hidden health risk. You see, after 60, your body isn't quite the same as it was in your 30s or 40s. Your metabolism slows, your insulin sensitivity drops, and your organs, especially your liver and kidneys, have to work harder to process what you eat. That means ingredients that once seemed harmless, like a sprinkle of sweetener, a splash of creamer, or a handful of dried fruit, can now trigger unexpected issues. Blood sugar spikes, inflammation, even long-term organ strain. And here's the real shocker. Many of these oatmeal add-ins are promoted as healthy. You might even see them on the front of the box. But in this video, we'll reveal 7 common mix-ins that could quietly be harming your heart, your energy levels, and your overall well-being. The good news: once you know what to avoid, you can make small, smart swaps that protect your health without giving up the foods you love. Because breakfast should fuel you, not drain you. And even 1 or 2 simple changes could make all the difference in how you feel throughout the day. Stay tuned, because what you learn in the next few minutes might just transform your entire morning routine. Number 1. Brown sugar, the sweet little scoop that might be quietly sabotaging your health. Let's be honest. Brown sugar feels like the healthier option. It looks rustic, sounds more natural, and doesn't come with the same bad reputation as white sugar. But here's the uncomfortable truth. After 60, your body doesn't care what the label says. Whether it's white, brown, organic, or raw, sugar is sugar. And when you stir it into your oatmeal, you're not just sweetening your breakfast, you're triggering a biological roller coaster. Here's what happens. That spoonful of brown sugar sends your blood sugar soaring. Your body scrambles to respond, releasing insulin in hopes of bringing things back into balance. But as we age, our insulin response slows down. The pancreas doesn't produce as much, and the cells become more resistant to what little insulin is there. That means blood sugar stays higher longer, and when it crashes, so does your energy, your mood, and your mental clarity. 1 small scoop of brown sugar might seem harmless, but over time, that daily spike and crash cycle can do serious damage. It wears down your metabolism, increases belly fat, triggers inflammation, and raises your risk of type 2 diabetes, even if the rest of your diet is pretty clean. I once met a woman named Lorraine, 67, active, mindful of her health, swore by her morning oats with just a little brown sugar. But she couldn't understand why she was crashing mid-morning, feeling foggy, and constantly craving more sweets by lunch. Her doctor suggested she cut the sugar and try natural flavor boosters instead: cinnamon, vanilla, or fresh fruit. Within days, her energy smoothed out and the sugar craving stopped. That's because sugar doesn't just affect your blood. It affects your brain. It lights up the dopamine centers, the same areas that respond to pleasure and reward. It feels good temporarily, but when that effect wears off, your brain starts asking for more. That's not lack of willpower, it's a chemical response. So what's the solution? Don't fear sweetness, but choose the kind that works with your body, not against it. Try adding sliced banana, stewed apples, or a sprinkle of cinnamon. These options provide gentle sweetness plus fiber, nutrients, and a slower release of energy that keeps your body balanced. Because when your blood sugar starts steady, your whole day shifts. Your thinking is clearer. Your hunger is calmer. Your energy is smoother. And all of that can begin with one simple decision: skip the brown sugar. Give your body something better, it's earned it. Number 2, artificial sweeteners, the so-called safe sugar swap that may be quietly making things worse. If you're watching your blood sugar, artificial sweeteners probably sound like a smart compromise. They're calorie-free, don't spike your glucose, and come in those cheerful little pink and yellow packets that practically shout diabetic-friendly. But here's what most people don't realize. These sugar substitutes might be doing far more harm than good, especially after 60. The problem starts with confusion, not yours but your body's. You see, your body is designed to associate sweetness with calories and energy. It's a deeply wired survival mechanism. So when you consume something that tastes sweet, like sucralose, aspartame, or saccharin, but contains no actual energy, your metabolism gets thrown off. Your brain registers sweet and prepares to process calories, but when they don't arrive, your body panics. The result? Your insulin response becomes erratic, your hunger signals get louder, and cravings, not just for sweets but for anything high in calories, kick into overdrive. That's why artificial sweeteners can actually make it harder to lose weight, harder to stabilize blood sugar, and easier to store fat around the belly. Exactly what most seniors are trying to avoid. And it doesn't stop there. Many of these sweeteners are processed in the liver, which is already under pressure from aging, medications, and environmental toxins built up over the decades. Adding synthetic sweeteners to the mix is like giving your liver a job it didn't ask for. Over time, this can slow detoxification, elevate liver enzymes, and contribute to that sluggish, tired feeling that seems to hang around no matter how much you sleep. I remember talking to a man named Charles, 74, retired, active, sharp-minded. He thought he was doing everything right. Switched to sugar-free syrup in his oatmeal, used sweetener in his tea, avoided desserts. But his blood work told a different story. His liver enzymes were creeping up, and his digestion was getting worse. After removing the artificial additives, things turned around. I didn't realize my morning routine was part of the problem, he told me. I thought I was being smart. So what can you do instead? Lean into flavor that nourishes your body. Cinnamon, nutmeg, pure vanilla extract. These offer warmth, sweetness, and depth without metabolic confusion. Or try a few slices of real fruit, apple, banana, or pear. They come packaged with fiber, water, and antioxidants, everything your body understands and needs. Because your body isn't asking for tricks, it's asking for truth. And when you give it clean, honest ingredients, it rewards you with better digestion, more balanced energy, and clearer thinking. Artificial sweeteners promise a shortcut, but health isn't built on shortcuts. It's built on choices that respect the way your body truly works. And after all these years, your body deserves nothing less. Number 3. Dried fruits, the sneaky health food that may be quietly overloading your liver. Let's be real, dried fruits have a fantastic reputation. They come from real fruit, they're convenient, and they seem like a smart way to add natural sweetness and fiber to your oatmeal. But here's what most people don't realize. Once fruit is dried, it loses its water and keeps all the sugar. In fact, it concentrates it. That innocent handful of raisins, it can hit your system like a sugar bomb. Even worse, the type of sugar in dried fruit, mainly fructose, is handled differently by your body than glucose. Glucose fuels your muscles and brain almost instantly, but fructose, that gets sent directly to your liver. And if your liver is already dealing with age-related slowdown, medication processing, or just decades of wear and tear, that extra load can tip the scales in the wrong direction. In fact, this is one of the lesser-known drivers of fatty liver disease in older adults, people who have never touched alcohol but are unknowingly consuming high amounts of fructose through dried fruits, fruit juice, and processed, healthy snacks. And it's not just the natural sugar you have to watch. Many commercial dried fruits are sweetened even further with syrups to keep them soft and enhance flavor. A few spoonfuls of dried cranberries, for example, can carry more sugar than a chocolate chip cookie, without any of the guilt cues your brain usually recognizes. It's sugar in disguise. I once spoke with a gentleman named Gerald, 69 years old, proud of his health habits, and absolutely committed to his morning oatmeal with dried apricots. But he kept feeling bloated, foggy, and noticed his blood pressure inching higher. When he finally replaced the dried fruit with fresh berries and apple slices, the difference was noticeable within a week. "I honestly thought dried fruit was healthy," he said. "No one tells you it can do harm." Here's the bottom line. Your liver is one of the hardest working organs in your body, and by the time you hit your 60s and beyond, it deserves support, not extra burden. If you love adding fruit to your breakfast, keep doing it, but go fresh. Fresh fruit provides water, fiber, vitamins, and a slower sugar release that your body can handle. Apples, pears, bananas, and berries offer natural sweetness with a nutritional bonus. It's not about cutting sweetness out of your life. It's about choosing sweetness that supports your health, not silently sabotages it. Your body is still responsive. Your liver is still fighting for you, so let's give it a little help and start each morning with the kind of nourishment that lifts you up, not weighs you down. Number 4. Flavored oatmeal packets, the shortcut that might be silently slowing you down. They're everywhere. Bright packaging, bold promises, heart healthy, low fat, whole grain. And for many seniors, especially those living alone or trying to keep mornings simple, these little packets feel like the perfect breakfast solution. Just tear, stir, and eat. But beneath the convenience hides a less comforting reality. These pre-flavored packets often contain a surprising mix of ingredients that can quietly chip away at your health, especially after 60, when your body becomes more sensitive to additives, sodium, and metabolic stressors. Let's start with the salt. Most flavored oat packets pack in 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium per serving. That may not sound outrageous, but when you layer it onto your daily intake from bread, canned soups, sauces, or snacks, you could be tipping well beyond the recommended daily limit without realizing it. And for seniors already managing high blood pressure, kidney health, or heart issues, even a little extra sodium can push your body into dangerous territory. Then there's the flavor. That apple cinnamon or maple brown sugar taste isn't usually coming from real apples or maple syrup. It's created in a lab, using artificial flavors, thickeners, preservatives, and food dyes that offer no nutritional value. These chemicals aren't fuel for your body. They're tasks for your liver and kidneys. And when your organs are already working harder with age, medications, and chronic inflammation, every extra burden matters. I spoke to a woman named Carol, 73, thoughtful about her eating, always looking for easy ways to stay healthy. She told me she'd been eating flavored oatmeal packets for years, sometimes even twice a day. But she started to notice strange bloating, swelling in her hands, and higher morning blood pressure. After switching to plain oats with her own apple slices and cinnamon, her symptoms improved. "I didn't think those little packets could do that," she said. "They looked so healthy." And that's the catch. These packets are marketed to sound helpful, but the health claims are mostly spin. Whole grain doesn't cancel out preservatives. Low fat doesn't make up for high sodium or artificial sweeteners. And quick and easy isn't worth it if it quietly harms your energy, digestion, or circulation. Here's the good news. You don't have to give up oatmeal. In fact, plain rolled oats or steel-cut oats are still one of the best starts to your day. Just take 2 extra minutes to add your own flavor, fresh fruit, nuts, spices like cinnamon or cardamom. That way you're in control of what goes into your body. No fake flavors, no hidden additives, just real food, real nutrients, and real support for the body that's carried you this far. Simple can still be powerful. You just need to keep it honest. Number 5. Non-dairy creamers, the harmless add-in that might be silently harming your health. They're convenient, they're creamy, and they sound like a smart choice, especially if you're avoiding dairy, watching your cholesterol, or just looking for a smoother texture in your oatmeal. But here's the truth that most labels won't tell you. Many non-dairy creamers are little more than a chemical cocktail disguised as a health-conscious option. Most powdered and liquid creamers are made with hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, fancy terms for trans fats. And trans fats are among the most dangerous ingredients in the food industry. They raise LDL, the bad cholesterol, while lowering HDL, the good kind that protects your heart. That's a double blow, especially for seniors who may already be managing blood pressure, statins, or a history of cardiovascular issues. And even if the label says trans fat-free, don't be fooled. Manufacturers can legally claim that if each serving contains less than half a gram. But those fractions add up, especially when you're using it every morning in both your coffee and your oatmeal. Then there's the long list of thickeners, emulsifiers, and artificial flavors added to create the illusion of creaminess. These aren't ingredients your body recognizes as food. They don't nourish your cells. Instead, they place added strain on your liver and kidneys, which are already doing the heavy lifting as you age, processing medications, filtering out toxins, and maintaining balance in your internal systems. Over time, that daily creamer habit may be contributing to something much bigger, chronic inflammation. And inflammation is the root of so many health issues in later life. Joint pain, brain fog, heart disease, digestive problems, even memory decline. I once met a man named Frank, 75 years old, full of personality and absolutely devoted to his powdered creamer. He used it in everything: coffee, oatmeal, even soups, but he couldn't understand why his stomach was always acting up and why his cholesterol was edging higher despite a decent diet. When his doctor finally convinced him to cut out the creamer, the change was almost immediate. His digestion calmed down, his energy improved, and his labs got better within 2 months. "It was just powder," he said. "I didn't think it could mess with everything else." But that's exactly the point. These hidden ingredients often fly under the radar until the damage shows up on a lab test or in how you feel every day. So what can you do instead? You have better options. Try a splash of unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or even a spoonful of plain yogurt. If you tolerate dairy, a little organic cream can work beautifully too. These choices offer texture and flavor plus real nutrients, and they don't come with a list of hidden risks. Your oatmeal is supposed to support you, not silently sabotage you. So give your body what it needs and skip the synthetic creamers. Because after decades of carrying you through life, your body deserves a little honesty and a whole lot of care. Number 6. Store-bought granola, the crunchy topping that may be quietly crumbling your health goals. Granola has long held a health halo. It sounds like a smart, natural choice, something wholesome, earthy, maybe even heart-healthy. And for seniors looking to add texture or flavor to their oatmeal, it often seems like the perfect go-to. But here's the surprising truth. Most commercial granolas are far from clean, and many can turn your healthy breakfast into a blood sugar roller coaster. The real problem lies in how granola is made. To get that irresistible crunch and long shelf life, manufacturers bake oats in sweet syrups and cheap oils, like canola, soybean, or palm oil. These aren't gentle ingredients. They're often heavily refined, sometimes partially hydrogenated, and known to stoke inflammation in the body. And as we age, inflammation isn't just discomfort. It's the silent root of joint pain, fatigue, heart disease, and even brain fog. Now you might be thinking, I buy the low-sugar kind. But even granola that looks clean on the surface often includes ingredients like honey, brown rice syrup, or evaporated cane juice. They sound more natural, but to your body, sugar is sugar. These healthier sweeteners still spike your blood glucose, stress your insulin response, and lead to the exact issues many seniors are trying to avoid: energy crashes, weight gain, and belly fat. And let's talk about portion size. Most granola labels list a serving as just 2 or 3 tablespoons. But who actually sticks to that? Most people pour a quarter cup or more, unaware they're adding the sugar and calories of a dessert onto their breakfast. One scoop can sneak in more hidden sugar and fat than a cookie, and no one expects that from something called healthy. I remember a woman named Ellen, 71, who added granola to her oatmeal every morning for that satisfying crunch. But when she started tracking her blood sugar and energy levels, she noticed something was off. After swapping the granola for chopped walnuts and a sprinkle of cinnamon, her numbers improved, her brain felt clearer, and those mid-afternoon crashes gone. So if you want to keep that texture without the metabolic cost, there are better options. Try plain toasted pumpkin seeds, unsweetened coconut flakes, or a handful of raw nuts like almonds or pecans. These provide crunch, healthy fats, fiber, and nutrients without the sugar trap. Because oatmeal should work for you, not against you. When you know what's hidden in those crunchy clusters, you're no longer fooled by clever marketing. You're making choices with clarity, fueling your body the way it deserves, one bite at a time. Number 7. Protein powders, the well-meaning boost that may be doing more harm than good. Protein is essential, especially as we age. It supports muscle strength, energy, and helps keep you full. So it makes sense why so many older adults reach for a scoop of protein powder to stir into their oatmeal. It feels efficient, like you're fueling your body the smart way. But here's what's often overlooked. Not all protein powders are created equal, and many of them come with a hidden cost. Commercial protein powders, especially the flavored, easy-mix kinds, are often loaded with artificial sweeteners, preservatives, synthetic flavorings, and thickening agents. And while those ingredients might make your breakfast taste like vanilla milkshake or chocolate pudding, your body pays the price. Every one of those additives has to be filtered by your liver and kidneys, organs that after 60 are already carrying a heavier load from years of medications, slower detoxification, and age-related wear and tear. And then there's the issue of quantity. Most people assume more protein equals more benefits, but your body doesn't store excess protein. What it can't use for tissue repair or energy gets broken down, and that process puts extra strain on your kidneys. If you already have reduced kidney function, even if it's mild or undiagnosed, that daily scoop of protein powder could be pushing your kidneys toward decline, silently and steadily. I met a man named Dennis, 78, active, careful with his diet. Every morning he added protein powder to his oatmeal, convinced it was the key to staying strong. But over time his labs showed signs of kidney stress. When his doctor reviewed his routine, they traced the issue back to his daily dose of low-quality protein powder. Once Dennis shifted to real food, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or nuts, his numbers improved, and so did his overall energy. If you genuinely need more protein, the best source is real food. A spoonful of nut butter, some cottage cheese, a handful of seeds, or an egg on the side can give you clean, complete nutrition without the extra chemicals. Because when it comes to fueling your body in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, it's not just about more. It's about better. Your breakfast should help your body thrive, not work harder to process what shouldn't have been there in the first place. Choose whole, natural protein sources that your body understands, and skip the scoop that does more than you bargained for. A spoonful of plain Greek yogurt, a side of eggs, a small handful of nuts. These aren't just ingredients, they're signals to your body that you're choosing nourishment it can recognize. Protein that comes from whole foods is naturally balanced with healthy fats, fiber, and vital nutrients. And at this stage in life, it's not about piling more on your plate. It's about choosing what truly matters and gently removing what does quiet harm. Because your body still responds, it still heals, it still thrives when given the chance. But it asks that we stop flooding it with synthetic fillers, processed powders, and sweet tricks, and instead give it the clarity and respect it's earned after a lifetime of showing up for us. And when it comes to your oatmeal, that warm, familiar bowl many of us start our mornings with, the difference is in the details. What you mix into it could either be helping your heart, fueling your mind, and supporting your digestion, or silently working against them. Today, we looked at 7 common add-ins that may be undermining your efforts to stay well. Brown sugar, artificial sweeteners, dried fruits, flavored oat packets, non-dairy creamers, store-bought granola, and protein powders. Each of these carries hidden risks, especially as we age and our bodies become more sensitive to the ingredients we once tolerated with ease. But here's the empowering part. You have the ability to make small, meaningful shifts. To start choosing ingredients that support rather than stress your system. To let go of habits that once felt comforting but no longer serve your health. You don't need a fancy breakfast to stay strong. You just need real food. Cinnamon, fresh berries, chopped walnuts, a splash of almond milk. These simple choices add up. They bring steadiness to your energy, clarity to your thinking, and lightness to your digestion. Most of all, they help you begin your day from a place of care, not convenience. So take a moment. Think about what you're adding to your oatmeal. Which of these 7 are you ready to let go of? Which new habit are you ready to embrace? Thank you for spending your time with us today. We'd love to hear what stood out to you. Leave a comment and let us know one thing you learned and how you plan to use it. Your voice matters here. If this video helped you feel more informed and inspired, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. We're honored to be part of your wellness journey, and we'll see you in the next one.